The Aces journey, it's such a wonderful reminder about sports.
This franchise moved from San Antonio and finished last in the WNBA.
#1 draft picks 3 years in a row.
This was a team that had knocked on the door, had really talented groups, seemed to not be able to get over the top.
And A'ja Wilson down, her teammates huddled around her after a crushing loss.
And yet, they persisted.
You take a look at this Aces team. First-year head coach Becky Hammon has a loaded roster. Change of pace offensively has them in position for their first chase for a championship.
This is a team that is racking up every single accolade.
The first player ever to 1,000 points this year.
There have been MVPs.
A'ja Wilson, one of the greatest this game has ever seen.
Defensive Player of the Year. Finals MVPs.
The grandeur of Chelsea Gray.
The 6th Player of the Year award has gone to an Aces player in 5 of the last 6 seasons.
6th Player of the Year came out of retirement for the Aces.
That happened because of what was built in Vegas, because of A'ja Wilson, Becky Hammon, because of what Mark did, all these things coming together, and they're such a great team.
Williams is taking over.
They bring this championship to Las Vegas. They're culture setters.
The city of Las Vegas has its first major professional title. The Aces on top yet again.
We want to see greatness. Ratings tell us, history tells us, people want to see greatness. We like to see dynasties. We like to see teams win over and over and over.
There's a dynasty in the WNBA.
This one makes 4. You're the 2000 WNBA champion.
If you're going to be able to have longevity and sustain that, you need multiple great players. And the thing about multiple great players, they usually typically can figure out how to work together, and it's a winning formula.
They have set a standard of excellence in this league we haven't seen since the Houston Comets.
To appreciate the Las Vegas Aces' current dominance, it's essential to recognize the Comets' pioneering achievements and how they raised the standards for excellence in the WNBA.
Fitting in to the 4th championship for the Houston Comets.
From 97, 98, 99, 2000, it really wasn't about everybody else. It was about us. And we always knew that we were good enough, that we had every piece, we had everything we needed, and it didn't matter who we were playing.
People didn't know necessarily who was talented, because it was all new. So then you have Cynthia Cooper, who is off in Italy, becoming one of the greatest players in the game. When she entered the WNBA, no one really knew that, oh, that was going to become a dynasty, because then you have Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, you know, that group of players all together, and it was the perfect storm.
People will try to say that we were a super team or the first. We weren't. Most people don't know in that first year, the Houston Comets weren't even picked to make the playoffs.
They picked us to finish last. They thought, oh, well, Cynthia Cooper's 34, she's too old. You know, Tina Thompson's a rookie. You know, Fran Harris hasn't played in 8 years. Tammy Jackson, like, you know, they had all these reasons for why we couldn't win.
They're all Hall of Famers. They're all legends in the game, but they all came in with the same type of mentality every day. And that was like, when they stepped between them lines, it was about the work.
Whatever we do, let's don't leave nothing on the floor.
Night in, night out, the 3 of them were very instrumental with being able to have double-figure moments in games.
The big 3 combined for 67 of Houston's 79 points.
That definitely set the standard.
We had more than the big 3. We had Janeth Arcane, who was all everything from Brazil.
Janeth Arcane, clutch play after clutch play.
God rest her soul, Kim Perrott, who was like the glue for our team.
What a feed by Kim Perrott!
We had our stars, but we had our role players who were stars.
Tammy Jackson, maybe a career best.
To be able to win that first championship, of course, we were excited. We were just never satisfied. It was like, no, 1's not enough. No, 2 ain't enough. 3 ain't enough. Let's try to win 1 more.
And the Houston Comets, the defending champions, playing again like champs in the postseason.
They dethroned us by coming into our place.
LA had the best record, but the Houston Comets wanted a little bit more.
I swear I sat in that locker room crying for it had to be 4 or 5 hours. Like, they had to pry me off the floor. And when we came back the next season, it was just a fire lit under us. And I think with Coop. When she retired, it did kind of put a little chink in that Houston armor.
We talked about being champions from day one. Day one, every day in practice, even shoot-arounds were competitive. And we took pride in bringing that level of intensity on a daily basis because we knew it was going to take us somewhere.
It was experience plus youth. You had a beautiful inside-outside game. You had Lisa Leslie, who could run like a gazelle. I mean, she was your true post trailer. She could also step out. She started to extend her game and started to hit the three.
They had a way of playing. They were big on the perimeter. Nikki Teasley as their point guard, I think she was one of those first kind of generation of really bigger point guards that I think made a difference, and they were somewhat unstoppable.
Dixon blows a kiss to the grateful fans.
We definitely enjoyed kicking people's butts and taking names and smiling about it.
The LA Sparks are the new champions of the WNBA.
When we won the first one, there was a hunger from everybody to want to win it again. It was an opportunity for us to, see if we can get what Houston had.
It was hard, but it was so rewarding because of the individuals I was able to do it with. When you have Lisa Leslie, Mwati Mabika, Nikki Teasley, Tamika Dixon, my goodness, when you have players like that are your teammates, you can go to war with them any day and be successful.
Nikki Teasley buried a three-pointer to win it, and the Los Angeles Sparks are back-to-back WNBA champions.
And once you win the first one, you got the target on your back, so now you got to play at an even higher level, and then you win the second one. Now everybody is like, tired of you winning. They ready for you to go.
When we got down to that last championship run, we played great at home. We got on the road, and it was it was like a fight out there. We got a little too emotional, whether it felt unfair, things didn't quite go our way. Emotion is the key to losing.
Orchestrator of the biggest turnaround in professional sports history. From worst to first.
I think it was genius to bring in a Bill Laimbeer to coach those teams. He molded those Detroit teams into who he was. They were really the bad girls of that era. They couldn't stand us and we couldn't stand them.
We changed the way the game was played in the Women's Basketball League. They were tough, they wanted to show off their physicality, and we just beat teams up.
Let the dynasty talk begin for the third time. The Detroit Shock, the champs of the WNBA.
And our players, they are outstanding people, and that's what makes great champions.
When you have special talent, that's when you win. You win a championship because you have a player like Lauren on your team.
The Seattle Storm are the WNBA champs.
You win championship because you have players like Diana Taurasi and Cappie Pondexter on your team.
Second time in 3 years, the Phoenix Mercury are the champs of the WNBA.
Like franchise, epic, Hall of Fame, legendary players.
Title number 3 for Sue Bird and the Seattle Storm franchise.
Kobe always kind of told me this too. He's like, you would have won championship. It's like a fluke, right? It's like, oh, this is great. It's hard to do, but okay, it's one. If you win 2, you clearly have the belief in yourself and people around that can kind of get it going.
The sweep is complete, and it is championship for the Seattle Storm. 2, baby, 2.
Then you try to win 3 or 4 or 5. Now you know exactly the formula and the people you need to win.
Minnesota, they had the best players on one team during an era where they dominated.
Title number 4 for the Minnesota Lynx dynasty.
It's crazy to think what we've done in the last 7 years. It's unbelievable.
The Lynx franchise, Cheryl Reeve, that group, they've seen all these different kind of iterations of the WNBA.
There is a natural hunger that you see in those younger teams or teams that have never been there that want to get it for the first time that you have to be ready for. You have to have whatever you need inside to match those teams who are talented enough, who haven't been there and want to take it from you.
The Minnesota Lynx will not be denied tonight.
We champions, baby!
It's not easy to win 1 championship, and then you're talking about winning 2 and 3. It's incredibly difficult.
The Detroit Shock are trying to win back-to-back titles.
The LA Sparks hoping to repeat as champions. For Cheryl Reeve, there have been huge expectations.
It's so rare to have an opportunity to try to repeat again.
3.2 left. There will be no repeat. And Indiana has won the WNBA championship for the very first time. The LA Sparks have slain the Mighty Lynx.
It's been 2 decades since a WNBA champion repeated. And if the Aces want to run it back, they're going to have to rely on their leader and the best player in the world, in Asia Wilson.
Is Vegas, are you guys a dynasty?
For the first time in 21 years, the WNBA has a back-to-back champion.
I feel like we have to win a couple more for me to be like, no, we did that. Like, the back-to-back is huge. Like, a lot of people, when they're like, oh, 2-time, I'm like, make sure you say that back-to-back, because that's hard. Like, that's hard to do.
It
like,
ain't happened in 21 years. So.
Right, like, that's hard. So, yeah, I think we're forming one, and I love it.
I think a large part of why we haven't seen it is because the investment hasn't been there. The WNBA, when it was on broadcast, there was good viewership.
Crowd up off their feet, and the Stars lead the defending champion Comets.
And the SBC Center is electric.
The crowd acknowledging the Eastern Conference champions.
They are raising the roof in Houston.
This is what WNBA is all about.
People were excited about it, and we never built on that momentum. The product stopped being pushed. The investment went away. Teams were being sold. Players didn't have the resources they needed. It's no shock that a team like the Aces, their owner comes in, makes all these changes, and they're a winning franchise.
I think we all remember that magical run that the Aces made last year, making it all the way to the WNBA Finals and coming up just a few games short of lifting the championship trophy. Well, new owner Mark Davis says he wants to help the team to take it all the way over the top, both on the court and off it.
I think Mark Davis set a standard for how you want to approach being a WNBA owner. Not only do you want to provide all the resources that ensure that every single player feels like, okay, I don't have to beg for anything. All I have to do is show up and do my job, but also feeling as if you're supported in doing that.
Mark definitely raised the standard in the WNBA in many ways than people will probably ever give him credit for.
I remember when he took over and just the way he immediately poured into this franchise and was like, what I give my NFL players, they deserve as well. And that was something that was unheard of.
He is known by players from all the teams. And I know that they know all that he's done, and they so appreciate that bar that he's set.
Before, if you said we're a women's team and we want to win and dominate, it's like, whoa, relax. You know, like it's all about fun and equal opportunity and all these things. And so, yeah, it is about that, but it's okay to want something. It's okay to say you want to have a dynasty. It's okay to try to build that dynasty. And they've been very open about what they're trying to do here in Vegas.
They have set the tone for even the men's sports that are here. Let us show you how it's done.
I think with Mark Davis wanting to win, he prioritized the right things, which is hiring the best people, and those people just happen to be women.
When I was hired, I had told Mark that we were going to put together the best front office we possibly could.
He has given us the platform to show what we are capable of doing, both, for me on the business side, but also to the young women who are on the court.
I think when you have an owner that really loves the team, loves the players, wants the best for them, I think you can see kind of what happens as a result of that.
Key to me is the difference in where the league has been and kind of stagnant, and now where it's going.
Tom Brady landed a new gig in a new sport. The 7-time Super Bowl champion quarterback is now a part owner of the WNBA's Las Vegas Aces.
You see that banner up there? That's never going anywhere. And now these teams, they're all looking at you and they want what you got.
This ring will represent to them for the rest of their lives that they are forever champions.
He's kind of lit a fire around the league with other owners, with other franchises. Okay, this is what the Aces are doing. We need to step our game up.
I think the Aces are innovative. They come up with ways to do what's needed to support their players. And to me, that's something that should be commended.
Mark Davis played a pivotal role in shaping the Las Vegas Aces' future, but the team's transformation began in 2018 with the relocation from San Antonio to Las Vegas.
It was clear that a new era was going to be ushered in. The Bill Laimbeer hire just quadrupled that because
of the success that he'd already had. I think even if you only look at his WNBA success, he was a 2-time Coach of the Year and a 3-time WNBA champion.
Bill Laimbeer laid the foundation, not just through the draft, but the pieces that we needed to compete and position ourselves to win a world championship.
With the first pick, the Las Vegas Aces select A'ja Wilson.
I think drafting A'ja might have been the easiest thing that he could have done because she was the clear and overwhelming top selection.
She's just a worker, and we know that, and I think she loves the big moment. We all know what she did in college. It's just kind of who she is. It's who she become in this league, and that's what we expect the elite.
The exciting things about getting #1 picks, you know that's the cream of the crop that's coming in for that year's draft. But that also says you're struggling, that's why you're getting a #1 pick. There are issues, and now you're going to be relying on these first-year players.
The #1 pick coming out now, Jackie Young.
Obviously, there were going to be some hurdles and bumps and bruises, but it didn't really take long for the Aces to find their footing.
That's all part of the Aces journey and what makes them so great and unique as a team, because they built and developed together.
We say KP, Jack, and A'ja, it's nothing happening without a Chelsea Gray.
And with all of the off-season moves made by our Aces, it looks like they will be lifting the city to a championship. One of these big moves includes signing 3-time All-Star Chelsea Gray.
When you want to win a championship, you want to be guided by somebody that's been there before. And when we signed her, it was huge because we needed that floor general on the court. We needed that guidance.
Now you add that to the mix and boom, now you have a winning formula, you have your core 4, and they are set up to win for hopefully a lot of years. Some huge news from the Las Vegas Aces. Multiple reports say the team is close to finalizing a deal to bring in Becky Hammon.
Even when she was coaching in the NBA, she referred to the WNBA and the women's game as home. And Vegas really believed that she was ready to be a head coach, and they gave her an opportunity to do so.
Becky Hammon leaving the San Antonio Spurs to come to the Aces was one of those news stories that I'll never forget. Everyone knew that she was set to be a star.
The San Antonio Spurs, your Las Vegas Summer League champs.
I think that it was really smart to hire her and to make a move that people maybe didn't see coming.
When you see Becky Hammon get $1 million to come coach the Las Vegas Aces, you have an organization saying, no, this isn't a stepping stone. This is a place in which elite level coaching is going to come in. They're going to be able to bring elite level talent, and they'll be able to coagulate and become an elite level basketball team.
And I think the care, the forward thinking of we want to start building a legacy. And this is where this legacy begins. And you're a big part of this. And the appreciation for the work that I'd done for the Stars in San Antonio. When you're building something culturally, it is pretty good to take a good hard look at its history. And that's what they were doing.
When Coach Hammon took over, she brought a different style. And that style, the players had to buy into it.
Becky Hammon learned from one of the greats. When you think about the people that Greg Popovich had to bring together, Tim Duncan, Imani Ginobili, Tony Parker, like these were some big time personalities. And you had to get them on the floor playing in a style that highlighted everyone's skills. Beautifully shown and showcased that she learned well from Popovich in the way that Becky Hammon did the same thing with an A'ja Wilson, with a Chelsea Gray, with a Jackie Young, with a Kelsey Plum, being able to have that level of talent in different capacities all gel together in a fast style of play. They spaced well and they played together.
It gave us a new umph. Like, I love Bill's system, obviously, because it was a big woman system. Like, nah, we gonna rock in the post, you gonna get your thing. Like, that was, I loved it. It made me learn how to get things out the mud. But then when Becky came around, it was like, okay, we gonna all get it out the mud, but in space.
The range of that three-point shot, she is very proud to say, I can do that.
I'm a shooter. The top 6 players on this Las Vegas Aces team have all improved their numbers. And I think it's a direct correlation to the system that they're playing in right now and the way that they have all elevated their games chasing a championship.
She, turned them into an offensive machine. High flying and sharing and movement and a lot of high IQ reads.
We really share the ball. We know that everyone's going to get a touch, everyone can shoot it, everyone can score the ball. And so whenever you play like that and you're playing so freely and unselfish, it just makes the game fun for us.
It's exciting to see how hungry the players were, how they were holding on to every word, every situation that Becky and her staff were putting them in, and how they were finding success.
At any point, any one of them can go off and take over a ball game.
The scariest thing about the Aces in 2022 was that they were having fun. Every game they won, they're like jogging up and down the court, laughing on the sidelines. This was like an AAU tournament for them, and they're the beasts that are coming in and getting the gold no matter what.
Every game, Carolyn and I were just talking about another record being broken and watching this team not just beat teams, but handily control games.
18 made threes tonight for the Aces. They broke a franchise record.
You just felt like really no one was going to beat this team.
And it all starts with Chelsea Gray. She's the glue, she's the general, she has the pulse of this team, knows when, who, and where to get the ball.
Chelsea is one of the greatest clutch shooters I've ever seen, male or female. When the game is on the line and the big shot needs to be taken, she is somebody who you have the ultimate faith in. In our 2022 run, she was in a different universe.
She is having the greatest individual postseason we have ever seen in this league. Chelsea Gray wants to go to the finals tonight. Gray, 6 to shoot. She wants it. She's got it. The Las Vegas Aces are headed to the WNBA Finals.
And I'm so proud of this group. It's been one hell of a season, man. It's been one hell of a season.
One thing as a head coach that will hit me always the hardest in any season will be, did I or did I not get greatness out of my players? That's the hardest part for me to swallow, is when, man, I didn't get greatness out of so-and-so, or I didn't get greatness out of so-and-so. Because when you get greatness out of everybody, the championships will follow.
And the Aces, who've come so close in postseasons over the last few years, now just one win away from this franchise's first title. Quanah Williams puts the Aces back in front.
There's special players that do special things at the right time.
Williams alone, you bet.
If we didn't have Quanah Williams, I don't think we're winning that championship.
Step back jumper is good. The city of Las Vegas has its first major professional title.
What has these last 48 hours or so been like?
It's just still sinking in, but it's nice to have a vision and see it come to reality.
The Aces' first championship parade is also something that people will probably never forget, because the Aces did something that Las Vegas had not seen. The first major sports championship in the city.
The amount of people that showed up, people were hanging from trees trying to be able to see the players on the buses and stuff. It was exciting.
And seeing all of our players be able to speak in front of so many people and to impact so many people, for me, that was, I'm never gonna forget that.
I think that's one thing that's really cool about Las Vegas, is that this city celebrates winners.
It's so fulfilling to see an ownership group pouring into their players the way that they do. I think they're just top-notch, one of the best organizations in the league.
Las Vegas, we are world champions.
What the Aces organization is doing, you all are getting a new practice facility, coach is making 7 figures. How much do you think you guys winning a title after having some of these things done can really shift things for the entire league?
I mean, when you have an owner like Mark that is just so dialed in and so trustworthy of you and figuring out how can we be better, what can we do more, how can we get people wanting to come to Vegas or just wanting to play better, the sky's the limit for a franchise.
The state-of-the-art facility really set a trend for the WNBA.
When you step into our practice facility, a lot of that started and is built because Mark came in and it was just like our women deserve more.
The Aces were the first WNBA team to have their own facilities that they did not share with the NBA or any other entity. And I think that that really set the team apart.
To have new facilities, they're going to be nicer, newer, with shiny things, but at the end of the day, having a facility that's just for you, that you don't have to share, I think is amazing.
When you build something and when you're investing in something like that, greatness and success just follows because you're doing the right things to provide for your players.
The pioneers that came before me that laid the foundation of this league and created a space for us to play. Just seeing all the hard work and the conditions that they had to play in and play through and still showed up to be able to produce. And that's a testament to, I think, every WNBA player that's ever worn a jersey. You didn't always have the best, but you still showed up and gave your best.
Nothing like we had, but you know what, you paved the way, we good.
I have been with the Lakers, I have been with the New York Knicks, the Spurs, and I've seen how the women might get a little corner of something. Or you might be in the same facility, but these things are off limits.
And so when I walk into this facility and I see world class, tailored for, customized for, not out of the box, and therefore we'll throw some things your way, but literally made for us, you can't ask for more than that.
It's beautiful, it's beautifully built. It makes you feel like a champion when you walk through here. It showed the rest of the league, this is how good it can get. This is what it looks like when an ownership believes in you and believes in you as a product, but also believes in you as talent.
We've heard other players who have left their teams, even if they don't come to the Aces, being drawn to other teams because of their facilities.
To now see other franchises giving practice facilities and building out those resources, I think this league is only going to continue to get better because the best product is going to be on the floor because players have the ability to recover and train as professionals.
I would love to have played for an owner like Mark Davis because he's doing it for all the right reasons. I'm sure there may or may not be monetary gains, but the legacy that he is leaving, priceless.
The most valuable asset the Aces have is its alumni.
The Aces also invested in former Aces players and also made sure that they always felt involved, did alumni weekends.
If you ask any of the former players and coaches and people of this game, they will tell you there's always been great talent. There's always been great rivalries, but they didn't always maybe get the attention that they should have. He said, we're gonna always remember you're the ones that kind of built the pathway to get to where we are now.
Your most powerful advocates are your alums. They're the ones that have been through it. They're the ones that are the most bought in. And for the current players deciding where they want to spend their time, if I were a current player, this is the franchise that I would want to be a part of because it is unlike anything that I've ever seen in sports.
To be recognized as a pioneer and to be embraced as part of this Aces family is just an amazing feeling.
There aren't enough words to express how appreciative we all are of their efforts, of their intentionality, of being able to say, we're going to reach back, and for those that came before you, we're going to bring them back and celebrate them. That is probably the most healing salve that they could put on all of our hearts.
It's all about growing the game. I mean, they laid the foundation down for us to be able to wear this uniform today, even though it's maybe a different color, a different city, but they are the foundation.
Mark, you allow us to continue to walk in our greatness. It's just not about our sisterhood, which we're appreciative of, but more importantly, Mark, you remind us of who we are.
The way in which Mark Davis takes care of the players, giving us a pendant, a replica of the championship ring, that's unheard of. Like, no one's doing anything like that. I don't even know if NBA teams are doing things like that.
Every year, the brand of the league is growing, but it's in part because of what the Aces have done. No one else has come and invested this much in promoting themselves. To see sold-out arenas, selling out ticket sales, that's new to our league, and it's because of the investment. It's because of the brand recognition. Everywhere you go around the world, not just in Vegas, not just in America, but the world, they know who the Aces are.
many fans, when they think of them, it's like that's the team for the culture. It's the team for Black culture. In the All-Star game when Chelsea and Asia did the dance. So many moments with Sid Colson, things between her and Asia on the bench. The way they walk through the tunnel. There's always a song, a dance.
I mean, I think we bring like the best out of each other, kind of feed off each other's energy, and I think we just have a lot of fun.
They all live so boldly in their Blackness and their culture, just very unapologetic about it. They're culture setters, and they should be acknowledged for that and respected for that and touted for that, all the things. They deserve the flowers because they set a standard, and a lot of teams who were not already doing this or did not have that kind of standard started to follow.
It was a Saturday to remember at Colonial Life Arena as the greatest Gamecock basketball player of all time returned to the court she's dominated so many times in the past. A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces taking on the Puerto Rican national team in a WNBA preseason game, and A'ja dominating once again.
To be a college coach and know the disconnect between college and the WNBA, somebody has to bridge the gap.
I think it says a lot about us thinking outside the box, being creative. How can we connect with the collegiate fan base that has shown their support at the NCAA level and then propel that to the WNBA?
There's a die-hard women's basketball collection of people here in the city of Columbia, in the state of South Carolina.
When you take A'ja Wilson back to South Carolina, yes, to have the fans supporting her and coming out and watching, that's great. But that was also the first time that some of our players have ever seen a statue of a Black woman.
To see it in person, you kind of don't realize the impact that she's had on such, that's her place, that's her state, that's her school. So to see that was pretty incredible, and just to hear the support for her, I don't know, it was really exciting.
God has truly blessed me to be able to play on this court one more time, and this means the world to me. You guys don't understand. I have people here that's watched me since I've been in preschool to watch me now. Truly, truly, I'm so grateful, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming out.
We're also exposing other markets that may not be attending WNBA games. So I think that's important too, for us to allow the WNBA brand to live in non-traditional markets. But I'm glad that other teams are taking notice.
Cool news for Duck fans. The reigning WNBA champion New York Liberty announced their 2025 preseason schedule, and it includes a game right here in Eugene.
The Indiana Fever will be heading to Caitlin Clark's old stomping grounds this May.
Angel is back in her dream house, a house that she helped to build in just 2 years.
Notre Dame will host the first WNBA preseason game between the Las Vegas Aces and the Dallas Wings, and 3 former Irish players will be in attendance.
We came from a great atmosphere all the way through college, and we know what it feels like. We know the support there, and being able to come back and, kind of join our journeys together, just like a full circle moment for us.
In 2023, the Aces took things to another level as they defended their crown. They exhibited an unwavering commitment to shared purpose, a second straight championship. And the team's foundation was crucial to their success.
The core four for the Las Vegas Aces.
The Aces core four is such a fun concept to look at because the way that they were put together and how they seamlessly fit, but the way that they look on the court together, it's something that can't be replicated.
Jackie, A'ja, Chelsea, and Kelsey are flat out going off in this ballgame.
Do you feel that the Aces are a super team?
No, I don't feel that we're a super team.
When people talk about this quote-unquote super team, I laugh because there was not a lot of super years in the past. And that's been years of building that trust because we've been in these moments together so many times that to us it's like, all right, like this is where it gets fun. Dig your heels in a little deeper.
Could have been the best 3 minutes of the Vegas Aces season. They came out without question through the first punch.
Everybody involved for Vegas.
Holy cow, this has been incredible.
Here goes A'ja! Count it!
They understood the importance of allowing each other to shine when it was their time to shine.
Block, and she just keeps coming back at you.
To have the options of players that can get you what you need. Do you need a three? Do you need a mid-range? Or do you need something in the paint? And we had an answer for each one of those questions.
And it felt as if they were the all-stars, the Monstars. Nothing and no one could stop them.
Yes, we highlight the big four, but you can't have conversations without understanding that we also had 6 Women of the Year. We had players that came off the bench and who were instrumental in our ability to make runs.
Right now, this team is on a mission. Got blocked by the best shot blocker in the league. Oh my goodness, did you see that? Oh my gosh. Impressive denial.
Some help. There's Stokes open on the left corner. Sticks it. Sydney Colson's still got some game, and she showed it.
Here's Young using the size, the strength of the touch.
Make no mistake about it, Asia Wilson is the queen of the court.
She just continues to set the bar.
And when you think about the way that they were able to block out all of the noise, it was their ability to gel together in the locker room and say, listen, a lot of people are doubting us. A lot of people are doubting that we're a good team, that we're good people, that we're qualified to go back to back, that we have enough talent on our bench.
Behind the back pass from Graves, a plum for the three. Having fun tonight.
What I loved about this group, like you couldn't crack them. The more you went at us, the tighter we got, and the tighter their belief, and the tighter they were in their workouts, and the tighter they were in their mindset and approach to what they wanted to accomplish.
The Aces on the brink of back-to-back championships.
The Aces have really elevated their level of play coming into these playoffs. There's a championship on the line. We are locked in.
The Aces and the Liberty, they were the most talented teams, and they had the 2 best players in the world.
And the biggest conversation around it was chemistry. Had New York done enough to get their free agents together in time to have enough chemistry to pull out in a series against the Las Vegas Aces, who re-signed all of their big talent after that 22 season to less money so that they could come back? That's chemistry in itself.
To be in a Game 4 on the road in New York, hostile territory, and to pull off that kind of win, that's incredible. And it was truly a team effort.
You could see it wasn't just winning that series, it was winning the season. We've gelled well together, we've played well together, we've executed well together, and we've made it against this team that was built to beat us, and they couldn't do it.
When we talk about a culture and everybody buying into a system and buying into wanting the best for the next person, it's all about making that change so it doesn't break. You've been able to see that with the success that we've had as an organization, as a franchise. The culture here is what wins championships.
The thing that drives me crazy, I'm like, is we set that standard, and then we reached it, and then we couldn't maintain it.
The Aces under Becky Hammon, champions her first 2 seasons, on the cusp of being eliminated in Game 4 of these semis.
The idea that the Aces have set a standard that they now need to re-meet is something that we're going to be exploring with the Aces for a long time. You look at the ways that different organizations have taken things from the Aces playbook. Now the Aces don't have the same edge when it comes to free agency and attracting players. There are plenty of teams now who either have their own facilities, state-of-the-art, expensive facilities, really accomplished coaches. All these things are starting to catch up to the Aces. The goal or test that the Aces are going to face for this upcoming season is how do you adjust and adapt?
I kind of look at Asia Wilson like a Steph Curry. Like, if you have Asia Wilson, anything's possible. The numbers she was putting up last season, carrying her team on her back, were unbelievable.
A'ja Wilson is the player of a generation, a 3-time MVP, first player to score 1,000 points in a season. Also most rebounds in a season, and she did it all while making it look easy. And I think it's really cool that A'ja's teammates, like over the seasons, have been her biggest advocates.
We understand who she is, who she's been for this franchise, for this city.
And that's something that I think needs to be celebrated when you have players of this caliber that are playing now. You know, appreciate that, because one day she's not going to be here.
A'ja Wilson, what can't you do?
But now we've seen every year, she just gets better and better. She's adding something else new to her game.
The year that I had this year was just something that I was so proud of because I just felt good. It didn't feel forced. I felt really free. Yes, we lost and it eats me up and I'm like, ugh. But at the same time, I'm terrified because I'm not as mad as I thought I was gonna be. So that means somewhere in there, somewhere in this body of mine, that's gonna erupt.
Today, I am honored to officially announce that we have awarded Portland the 15th WNBA franchise.
You know, with the expansion of our league happening and, you know, more teams coming in, it's gonna separate a lot of teams. So, you know, the rosters that we see now where everybody can sacrifice a little bit to come and be a part and build these types of teams, I don't think is gonna be around that much longer. And so to know that I was able to be in that space and create history, be a part of history, is something that I don't take for granted.
Winning is hard, and being great is hard. Maintaining greatness is really hard. And then when you start talking dynasty, I mean, yeah, we've set the stage, but we still got to figure it out and continue to push where that peak is.
So it's like the Aces lost, and it's like, oh my goodness. It's like, okay, they lost, but like, they won 2 back-to-back championships, and they made it to the semifinals again in a year with the Olympics, which statistics tells us traditionally teams don't go on to win championships. In a year where they were battling multiple injuries and different things, but they are still one of the top teams in the league, and they will have a case to make going into next season to see if they are still the best team in the league. They definitely have some competition. Teams have upgraded, but you've added the Golden Mamba. And you've gotten A'ja Wilson some front court help. They've also built out a bench. And I think if they win 3 championships in 4 years, are they not a dynasty?
They have all of the pieces. They have the history, they have the storyline. They have the players that have the hunger, and they have the coach that has the mindset, that has the body language, the posture.
And we have to be really grateful for the hard times because it's made us tougher and it's made us more resilient. And this road that we're about to walk is tougher. It will require more toughness. It will require more selflessness. It will require more discipline. It's going to squeeze every ounce of us, and everybody has to be all in on that.
Time isn't really the gauge of the championships, it's really the number. And when you're winning 3, 4, 5 championships, then you gotta be in the conversation of what a legacy looks like. And that's the conversation that we are striving to be in, and we will be in that conversation one day.